Now that is one way to kick off a brand new series. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to SIBZ, West Coast, East Coast Siblings, where we talk about your favorite movies and TV shows. Today we are talking Raised by Wolves, Episode 1. We're going to talk about the 3 biggest things you need to know from the episode. Before we do that, hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss. I'll be setting a like goal on this video of 15 likes. If we get that, I'll do a full series. Without further ado, let's get into it. So overall, I thought the show was pretty interesting. Obviously, it's high budget. As a DC fan, seeing this show is making me excited for what they'll possibly be able to do with an Batman versus Deathstroke show, etc. HBO definitely has the budget and the know-how to make high-quality TV shows. So setting the premise before the takeaways, it's set around a character mother and father who are sent to a foreign planet and are programmed to restart the human race void of any type of faith or religion. They get there with these embryos that they raise as their own kids, but over the course of several years, they all end up dying except for one kid by the name of Campion. Never heard of that name, but there you have it. As you can imagine, it'd be pretty hard to restart the human race with only one human being. So the robot father recognizes this, understands that they've failed the objective, and then tries to reach out to human beings, seeing that even if they're crazy, the boy would be better off living with humans than living a solitary life with 2 robots and dying. Now, it's hard to have a TV show in which people empathize with the characters if they show no emotion, and that's always going to be a challenge with robots as your characters. They didn't try too hard, though. Mother seems to have a fine range of emotions, even though she seems to be suppressing them somehow. She definitely seems to have some innate emotion and care for what happens to her children. She's very devoted to this mission they've been programmed to do, even in the face of it obviously not working with them only having one human. Now, she hides the fact that she killed father from Campion for obvious reasons, but what she didn't know is that Campion had already talked to father about reaching out to the human beings, and Campion sent a signal up to a human spaceship that was hovering in the area looking for signs of life. Big takeaway number 2, these humans hear the distress call, they hear the signal, and they come down. Now, let me get the name right. They represent the Ark of the Mithraic. Okay, this is a religious organization, and their team is led by a character named Marcus, who my Vikings fans are sure to recognize as Travis Fimmel. And although Mother tries to hide the fact that she's an android, she really doesn't fool anybody, and they quickly recognize that she's an android, and they devise a plan to get Campion, to take him back to be with his people, to be with human beings. Now, the Mithraic, they also have an android, and so they task the android with, hey, look, you know, if there's any resistance on Mother's end, just take care of her. And he says, oh yeah, she looks like a cheap model. I have no issue, you know, jacking her up. They have an issue. Long story short, not only does she beat their android, but she ends up jacking up the rest of Marcus's team with some rated R version of the canary cry. For some reason, she spares Marcus' life, which is a bit of an inconsistency when she's going all rage mode. But she takes it one step further, not only subduing his team, she takes their ship and goes up to the mothership and proceeds to kill everyone on board. Which brings us, of course, to big takeaway number 3. She finds more human beings on the ship, the children, and she saves the children and brings them back to the planet, restarting the entire process over again. Now, these kids just happen to be around the same age as Campion. My big question is, there seems to be an obvious fault in her programming, as if the experiment didn't work the first time around with kids who were actually born on that planet and developed under its conditions. How are these new humans who probably had, you know, similar to Earth like atmosphere and life support, how are they now going to come on a planet with already developed lungs and bone mass and all that stuff and survive in the conditions of this new planet? So it remains to be seen. Maybe it's one of those things where a fully mature human adult would survive fine on the planet, as the people of the Mithraic, they seem to do. They seem to be on that planet with no real issues. So maybe the closer you are to maturity, the better chances you have of surviving, and Campion, as he gets older, develops more of a resistance just because he's getting older. So episode 1 leaves us with Mother crashing their mothership and bringing the kids down on one of the escape pods, and it seems she's going to try and re-indoctrinate these new human beings who definitely have a faith-based, you know, upbringing into the ways of atheism and into the ways of science above all. Definitely an interesting show. It brings up a lot of important topics and interesting themes, so let me know what you think down in the comments below. Those are the 3 big takeaways from episode 1 of Raised by Wolves. Again, the like goal is going to be 15 likes for this video. It's not much. It's just enough to let me know that you guys would like to to see a full series on this one. As always, be sure to like the video if you like the video, subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss as we cover your favorite movies and TV shows. Lastly, if you're feeling awesome, check out our sister channel, The La Quente Ledger. We got more awesome content over on that channel. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.